Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is still Good Morning Kenya. And from that conversation on affordable housing, we move to a conversation that involves you, your money, and your future. We want to talk about inculcating a saving culture among the youth. And for that, we have this group CEO of Otagon Africa, which is a regional financial service provider, here with us to help us with this conversation. Karibu sana, Mr. Fred.
Thank you very
Waswa.
much. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So Kenya's saving culture has been rated at 12%. What do you make of this?
Ideally, the saving culture is 12% just because of the the introduction into the saving platform for pensions, you know, and especially compulsory pension funds for occupational schemes, for company pension schemes. But ideally, if you look at the saving culture around insurance, you talk about less than 2% penetration in the country. There is a lot of challenge for the culture of saving. People don't really have a culture of saving in this country. And what happens is when somebody saves for 2 months, in the next month he goes and withdraws it. Yeah. So there isn't a sustainable platform that they're able to say, or a sustainable culture of saving in our population. And this is the problem we have today, and that's why the current president, really what he has tried to realize is that if you don't have savings, you cannot be able to raise money to be able to develop the country. And most countries which have developed out of savings.
Okay.
So basically, what do we do to get people to save? We need to create a culture of saving. Yes,
and
that's right.
That's why I believe that the president introduced the Hustler Fund. And what do you make of this? Because with the Hustler Fund, there's 5% cut from the loan that you're given, and then the 5% that we have, from the 5% we have 70% which goes into the pension, and then the 30% now goes into short-term savings. So what do you make of this? Is this helping our country in terms of growing our saving culture?
A lot more. Ideally, if they don't do that, nobody will save. This is what we call involuntary saving. So you are doing something and you are saving without you knowing you are saving. And that's what the president has tried to do, especially so for the informal sector. Because in informal sector, you must wake up in the morning and say, today I am going to earn 100 shillings. I will save 20 shillings. And that must be purposeful. Now, it's not easy for people to do that because we don't have a culture of saving. We've never been trained how to save. We were trained to, when you harvest, eat all the harvest, what you only keep is what you will plant in the next season. That's how we are trained from childhood. So everybody eats everything. Now, what the president has realized is that the only people who are saving are the compulsory saving, which is coming from occupational pension schemes, private pension schemes, and parastatal pension schemes. And that's the amount that has created the 1.5 trillion Kenya shillings that we have today, most of it running the country. But we have a bigger population that needs to save, which is the informal sector. Okay. So this Hustler Fund, in my view, the saving bit of it is going to help a lot to raise a culture of saving.
Okay.
Yes.
And you've alluded to bad cultural, upbringing being the problem. Is this the root problem? And then what needs to be done to address that?
Let me tell you, I mean, the problem in this country is of course, maybe some most African countries. We operate in 3 African countries, in Kenya, Uganda, and Zambia. And the culture is across the board. Is that when you ask people to save, they'll tell you, why do I need to save? Or they will save for 2 months and drop off. Before the interview, I told you, we have a platform called Mobikeza, which is saving for individuals, for that informal sector. We launched it in 2018. 160,000 people basically registered. But we only have about 2,000 people saving.
Okay.
If you look at the trend, you find people saving for 2 months, they drop off. 3 months, they drop off. 1 week, they drop off. So the problem is basically culture.
Okay.
Yeah, it's culture. It's that we need to get our our saving culture, our saving training starting from childhood. Yeah, from when the people start forming their cultural mind and saying, what do we need to do? What do we need to? What do we need to do to get money? And why do we need to get money? And how do we use the money for? So we need that culture starting from childhood, and that's the drive we as Otagon Africa are trying to put across.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So from that, I'm getting that people have the will. They want to save, but it's because they have not. The culture is not inculcated in them.
Absolutely.
So they drop off soon. There's no consistency in it.
Absolutely.
So we need to start from way down.
Yes.
From the children.
From the children.
And that's what you're doing. And you have the training centered among children. There's youths too. So
Correct.
tell us about this. How is this helping?
Yeah, so what we've done, of course, I mean, having sold these programs, I mean, saving programs for the last 32 years, what we realized that when you sell programs to mature people, they have challenges of accepting those programs or basically sustaining them the way we have seen. So what we did around 3 years ago in the year 2020, we launched financial literacy programs for children. Because we want to change the culture from the ground. I know we may not make money from it, but we will make money in 15 years, in 20 years, in 30 years. Because when we try to sell our programs to them in 30 years, they will understand them. They will have created a culture. And that's why we started the programs for financial literacy. So, and we have done this we have now done almost for 1 million people, 1 million children, which we do every holiday. We run a program for the children we've been doing for the children between 15 to 22.
15 to 22.
15 to 22.
So these are the teenagers and the youth.
Absolutely. So this year, we've gone down between 8 to 22. So we are running 2 programs, one between 8 to 14 and then another one between 15 to 22. So we can see, because literally research shows that that children needs to start learning financial literacy at the age of 7.
Okay.
Most developed countries, they take their children to financial literacy coaches at the age of 7.
So at 7 you need to start teaching your children about financial literacy.
Absolutely. I always I mean, compare, you know, I compare with what we have done in agriculture, for example. You know, when we were young and we were in primary schools, we used to have what we call 4K clubs, which were basically clubs for agriculture, teaching children how to do agriculture, how to farm, you know, and what do you do with the farm produce? You get it? In our schools, I remember we were about 5 guys. We were given small plots, and we'll go there and plant things, and you know, when they have grown, we sell them, and you can see that the culture of farming in this country is great. You know, everybody who grows up thinks, I can be able to go back and do it and do farming. Because the Bible says that teach a child, you know, good practice when you're young, and he will not depart from those practices when he grows old. So we need to do the same for children on finance. Today we don't do that.
So how do you train your child on finance?
You know, first of all, we need to help them understand what do our parents do. Yeah, because that's where money comes from. You know, what do our parents do? What do they get? What do they use the money for? How do they use the money? How do they save? So we help them understand that there is a culture that needs to be developed around what your parents are doing. Okay. You get it? But then too, also, we need to help them understand that the small things you do create a bigger picture in terms of what you want to do. For example, if you as a parent, you purposefully decide to say, we are going to open a bank account for our children, which we did as parents, me and my wife, is to open bank accounts for our 2 children. And we had to get pig banks, you know, pig banks? Yeah. And every time we give our children money to go to the shop to buy something, when they come back and bring change, put in that box.
They drop it.
In that box. At the end of the month, the house help takes them to the bank, and they go and do it and deposit them in the bank. So children grow up knowing, when you save small, when you get to the bank, when they open the piggy bank, you get 100 shillings, you get 200 shillings. Wow. You get it? That creates a culture of saving. Now, that is the thing that we need purposefully as parents to do, to help our children manage money. Because if we don't get our children to manage money, money is ideally what life is. If you don't manage money, whatever you do, you will always not be successful. You get it? Because it will always come back to destroy whatever that you do. Whether you are a professional, whether you are wherever you are, at the end of the day, money is what determines what you become, or what you are supposed to have, or what you're supposed to become.
They say money, you either become a slave of money or a master of one.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And we want to know how to become a master of money, especially among the youth. So how would you say that the culture among the youth is, the saving culture among the youth specifically?
Yeah, of course, the saving culture among the youth is not as good because they are learning from their parents. Okay. Yeah. Yesterday I was reading something which says that you know, the father is saying, please walk better. You know, make better steps as you walk in front. And the son says, I'm walking in your steps.
So I'm following what you're doing.
I'm following what you're doing. So just don't tell me to walk better, but I'm walking in your steps. So we as parents have to purposefully teach our children culture of saving. Now, I know we may not have our own culture of saving, but we can decide that we're going to help our children to be different from what we are, And that's exactly that we're trying to do as Otagon Africa, just to make sure that we have better people who can manage better money, so that they become masters of money, that they're able to have money to use. Money is not hoarded, neither is it abused. But it's not the end, but it's the means to that particular end. Okay. So we need to help our children understand that also money is not, you don't get money in shortcuts. Because, you know, if you teach your child, you know, there is a program we were watching sometime. I think Matilda. It's called Matilda.
Matilda,
yes. And where the father tries to reverse the meter for the car, so that the meter, you know, if it's kilometers of, he has gone 100,000, he reverses to 1,000, and tells the child, oh, this is a great. I'm going to sell this car at a higher price because it's now 1,000. What are you doing to the child? You're telling the child the best way, quicker to waste money is to do those kind of things. So if we help our children understand that for you to make money is a process, you plant, you plow, you plant, you weed, and you wait, and you harvest. You don't just plant and tomorrow morning go and harvest. These things are taught from childhood. Then the children grow up with a culture of understanding how to utilize money. We will reduce corruption. Because corruption is the shortest mean to get money. And this has been taught from us who are parents. We're teaching our children. Now, if we decide purposefully say my children must live a better life, which means that they must learn from childhood. Okay. Yes.
So, you know, parents or the older generation referring to our generation, the youth now, as the popcorn generation, it's actually their fault because they did not teach the youth the culture as they grew up?
Absolutely. Yeah, today we have, you know, very many shortcuts are being taken by our children today, or us today, you know, or young people, you know, today. Why? It's because they were never taught cultures of making money and saving that money and utilizing that money in terms of investments. They were taught that you can actually build a house. You can start working today, and buy a car in 1 year, and build a house and buy a house in 1 year, and you know those kind of things, which sometimes they watch on TV, which is a show, or you know, on shows, which is basically a show, but they want to apply it in their lives. We need to help them understand that is just
a movie.
But life must be lived and must taken be through stages. Okay. Yes.
What about the CBC now? Off camera, you told me about you going to KICD and wanting them to incorporate this in the studies. How did that go?
Absolutely. You know, we when we started this program, we approached KICD and said, Lucia, can we partner and develop a curriculum for financial literacy programs? Of course, they mentioned to us that it's being done under CBC, which is a great idea. But I think it's not as purposeful as we want it to be. You get it? You know, CPC will help people, you know, I mean, maybe say one thing and be able to put something else. But we want a program. And we're trying to put a program in place. We want a program that when a child gets to age 7, which means gets about grade 3 or grade 4, whatever it is, by the time they get to grade 9, grade 8, grade 7, when they're going to junior secondary, they have done things that they are proud about, that they have done things that they are excited about, and they can be able to, note them down. This is a generation that wants to be excited. They can be able to post it on Twitter and say, hang on a bit, for the last 3 years, I have been doing a program that has actually given me some money. When I'm going to junior secondary, I'm able to buy my shoes myself. You get it?
Yeah.
So these are the things that we want to do for children to get them excited. But as they get excited, they're creating a culture of saving. Okay, City has done quite some bit of it, but we need to do much more in terms of getting children to do this learning culture of savings.
So to be very purposeful about it.
Absolutely.
And how is your program centered towards this? The program that you are carrying out now, especially because it's a long holiday, both for the young children, the 8 to 15 and the 15 to 22.
Yeah, what we've done is that it's an online program, and that's a bit about it, is that people join. Of course, we basically publicize out to the whole public, but we have people joining from UK, from Europe, from America, children joining for our programs for financial literacy.
Wow.
What happens is an online program that we run for children between 8 to 14, and then another program we run between 15 to 22. Basically helping them understand what is it that you need to do to be able to save, and what are you supposed to say your savings for. But over and above that, we're getting into partnerships with governments and schools and county education officers to create financial literacy clubs in schools and create activities in schools so that the children can compete and schools can compete, and we have counties compete, and then we want to have each of the countries that we're operating in compete. Then we have the best of the children to be able to know that we are able to sponsor them for their education. The idea is not necessarily that very particular sponsorship. The idea is that the whole population in school should participate at the ground level.
Wow.
So of course, as we grow up, then we can reduce the numbers so that we are able to compete properly. So this is what we want to do to make sure that our children basically are educated in terms of our financial literacy programs.
Wow, that's amazing. Is it the same as how we have music festivals and the competition between schools and all that?
Absolutely.
So it's all for building a culture at
the ground level. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
And
what has it done for the youth that have benefited from this? What change have you seen?
A lot more. We have these testimonials where children have said, "Wow, out of this, I have been able to ask my mom to do something for me, and I've been able to save." So there has been a lot of feedback that we have got from the programs we've run since the year 2020, and which have encouraged us basically to be able to run more programs and even publicize more. We are glad that KBC is giving us this opportunity so that we are able to publicize it out to the public. Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And for youth, maybe our youth watching this, they might think, how do I save? I live from hand to mouth. Things might be hard. As you've said, there's the will, but maybe because of the culture and maybe because of the circumstance too, it's difficult to create this particular culture. So is there a formula of saving even when you're earning just a little?
The formula of saving first is pay yourself first. When you're earning salary, when you get your pay, my sister,
pay yourself
first. Because pigia mwili pole.
But when you say pigia mwili pole, it means you need to treat yourself, buy yourself something.
No.
Okay.
That treating yourself is not paying yourself. Paying yourself is saying, I have done my work. Yeah, I need to put aside my money to enjoy my life after I have worked, for example, or I've put aside my money to enjoy my life in 1 year's time. Yeah, I want to make sure I go for a holiday. I want to make sure that I take my girlfriend for a treat. You get it? You're not going to start taking your SACCO money to go and hire a vehicle to go and take your girlfriend for a treat.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you save. Pay yourself first. What do? You take 10% of your money and put it aside. You are earning 20,000 Kenya shillings.
So you take 2,000.
Take 2,000, but put it aside. And you purposely would do that. Let me tell you, we have reached somewhere where I used to advise young people. And what you do, there are boxes which are sold on streets. Yeah, I liked it when I saw in Eldred Town, Eldred Street, somebody was selling boxes which have a cut on top.
Yeah. It's like a piggy bank.
It's a piggy bank, but it's a box. Yeah. Box. So you buy that box. You get it? And you put in 100 shillings a day, for example. When you come back from work, put in 100 shillings a day. By the end of the month, how much money will you have in that box?
Wow. 100 times 30.
It will be 3,000. Where do you get 3,000? And you see, okay, for you to get that money, you must break that thing.
Yes.
Now, it means your head is not normal as well.
So if you break it, you're not normal. What about temptations when it's bad?
Let me tell you one thing, is that there's no problem, no challenge that will pass. There is no challenge that will pass. You can decide to say, I have saved my money. Today I don't have food to eat, I will sleep hungry.
Wow.
You won't die.
So it's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. You won't die. When you wake up in the morning, you go and work and get some more, 1,000 bob, and you come and save another 100, you'll use your 900 shillings. You get it? The thing is, that it must be a sacrifice. Okay. You must be a sacrifice.
All right.
You get it? That way you'll be able to save. For example, let me give you a very simple example about insurances. Many of us, I worked in insurance when I was still a young boy. Many of us will come and sign up policies. You can have 1,000 people sign up insurance policies. But do you know how many get sustained? Maybe 100. And for you to be able to get back money out of the insurance, you must have saved a minimum period of 3 years to get what you call a surrender value. So some people save for 2 years and just walk away and leave their money.
They give up.
Now, that is a very poor way of culture. And sometimes they are not walking away because of maybe they have lost a job. Maybe if you have lost a job, that is a good reason for you to say, I cannot be able to sustain the program. Yeah. But it's simply because you feel like you want to save in a circle now to buy a TV.
So
you leave saving your pension, your insurance. You get it? So there are things that we can defer, gratification. We can defer gratification for us to be able to help ourselves save. Okay. Which is very important, yes.
All right. Yes. And with that, so I want you to give us the difference between saving and investment. Correct.
Now, you see what happens, a very simple example of this piggy bank with this child who has been saving, every change you give him, they go to school, they come back and save in a piggy bank. Basically, that's saving. They are putting somewhere where they are building so I always call it a war chest, yeah? They're building some platform, you get it? But when you have saved money, you cannot continue saving money in a piggy bank forever. Yeah? You must take the money and put in a bank. Yeah. You get it? You open a bank account, put the money in a bank, and maybe put in a savings account where now it's interest. Okay. You get it? Now, you may find that the interest in the bank is not sufficient enough. So you look for other avenues where now you can save, because you have been saving this 100 shillings a day. At the end of the month, you have 3,000. At the end of the year, you have 36,000 in the bank. Okay. So you don't want to have 36,000 shillings earning the minimum interest in the bank that they can be able to give you. You get it? So you decide, no. Let me take my money now and maybe buy a bond. Okay. That's an investment. So now it starts earning you money. All right. So now you don't longer save from your cash, you save from your interest. Okay. All right. From interest, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So give us those types of investment or types of saving.
Okay. Now, that's another challenge that this country has, is that we don't have a lot of avenues. We don't have a lot of investment, classes, so to speak. You have things like fixed deposits. Yeah, fixed deposits. Now, the fixed deposit, you go to the banks, and banks don't accept certain levels of money. You don't have million and above, we can't accept you that money. Yeah, okay. But some banks will always accept fixed deposit. You can be able to put a fixed deposit. Fixed deposit is either you can put a 1 month deposit, or 2 month, 3 months deposit, 6 months deposit. So that way, at the end of the fixed deposit, you get back your money and you get your interest. Yeah, you can also do a treasury bill. What you call government paper has what you call treasury bills and treasury bonds. Yeah. Now, treasury bills are 90 days, 91 days treasury bills. We have 180 days. We have 360 days. These are treasury bills that mature. At the end, you get back your money. Yeah. Then we have what we call treasury bonds. Treasury bonds are a bit longer term. You can have a 5-year bond, you can have a 10-year bond, you can have a 20-year bond. So you can also put money in those bonds. So these are different fixed income investments. Yeah. Then you have shares, stock market. It's a fantastic place to invest money. Yeah. When you have made your 36,000 or even you have made your 3,000 at the end of the month. Yeah, you have put your 100 shillings in your piggy bank, and at the end of the month, you go and you see, oh, I have 3,000 shillings. You can buy shares. The shares, minimum number of shares you can buy on the stock market is 100. Yeah, it's 100. So if a share is going at 30 shillings, then you can buy 100 shares every month. You invest your 100 shillings every day.
Okay.
Yeah, so you grow a portfolio of shares. When shares are fantastic for young people. I always say that when you are young, starting employment immediately, shares are a great place to invest.
So this is the first place that at least you should start.
You should start from. Yes, yes. You know, people will talk about, they will go down, I'll lose my money. They won't. Safaricom.
What are the risks involved?
Absolutely. The risks involved is that you save short term, you lose money.
Okay.
You save short term in shares, you do it, you lose money. You must save with a long term perspective. That's why I'm talking about young people, because you are saving to go back to college to do a master's. It's going to take in the next 5 years. Okay. You are saving to get married. You're going to get married in the next 10 years. You are saving for retirement. It's going to happen in the next 30 years, 40 years. So you're not going to get back your money as quickly as, the way you want.
Yeah.
Don't save in shares. Don't buy shares to pay school fees at the end of the year.
It won't work.
It won't work for you. It will just be lucky that it has worked. but conventionally, it will not work. Don't save to go for a holiday at the end of the year. It will not work in shares. Shares are saved for long term.
For long term. And how long is long term? How many years is long term?
Maybe 10 years. Yeah. 5 years can be long term, depending on what is it that you want to do. But usually, 10 years and above is a bit long term. Yeah, 5 years could be medium term. Short term is 1 year, 2 years. But you find most people want to save between 5 to 10 years. Yes. Okay. Just for example, in insurance policies, they will run between 10 to 15 years and 20 years. Yeah. So you have those shares where you can be able to say to invest, not necessarily save. It's to invest, because shares, you get your dividends at the end of the year if the company declares a dividend, and if the share appreciates, you get capital gains on the shares. Now the other place you can invest is in pension funds. Pension funds are both savings and investment, because you continually put some money aside slowly by slowly, but it's only also earning interest. And we have personal pension plans, which each individual can walk in and say, I want to save. Or you can log in on a platform and say, you want to save, and you can be able to save that kind of money.
This would be the voluntary now.
Voluntary savings, yes, voluntary savings and voluntary investments. So you can create some money. At the end of the month, you say, I'm going to put in my pension plan every other month. And if you're a young person, who is in employment, today, and you are in a company pension scheme, I encourage people to do additional voluntary contributions. You get it? Additional voluntary contributions. Yes.
If it's already being deducted, you do an additional one. Why?
Why? It's because you get tax advantage.
How so?
My sister, if you are adding a salary of 100,000 Kenya shillings, and you are saving 10,000 shillings to 10% of your salary, your taxable pay is not 100,000, it's 90,000.
Okay.
So, pay as you earn, for example, straight line, pay as you earn is 30%, let's say. So, 100,000 you get tax of how much? 30,000 will be the pay as you earn. You have to pay. If you pay 10,000 shillings in a pension plan, your pay as you earn will become 27,000. You save 3,000 on tax.
Okay. Interesting.
And some people don't utilize that advantage. Of that very particular savings. So we need to encourage people to do that in a pension plan, which is critical. The other place that you can actually save and invest is insurance plans. I know.
And we have different types of insurance.
Different types of insurance. I know all of us sit down and conclude that insurance companies are thieves.
That's the perception that most people have.
Do you know why? It's because we don't want to save.
Okay.
You want to eat our money.
So it's an excuse.
Yeah, because if you're not saving in an insurance company because they are thieves, why are you saving? So tell me where you're saving because you're not saving insurance company. You get it?
Okay, yeah.
So all of us conclude that. But many of us have used insurance companies, insurance products to be able to save and invest and pay schools for children. You get it?
Yeah.
So insurance products are other fantastic products where we can say we can do investment and savings. Yeah. What we call endowment insurances. We have what we call anticipated and endowment. You know, those ones that will pay, you know, once you have reached 5 years, they start paying a small amount of money. Then those ones which are pay at the end of the term. Yeah, are fantastic insurance products that we should be able to use for savings and investment. Yes.
For youth, which insurance plan should they go for?
I always say that for youth, you know, because when you are young, you are strong, you have a lot of energy to make more money. Yeah, and these days people can make money from anywhere. Yesterday in your house, you make money on your phone. You get it? So take long-term insurance, take 20-year insurance, take 15-year insurance policies, and don't take anticipated, take endowment, which just pays you at the end, because it gives you a lot more sum assured for a smaller premium. Okay. You get it? You can get, I'm not sure what the premium is at these days. I don't do a lot of underwriting, but you will get a bigger sum assured for a very small amount of money when you are 23, when you are 25, when you are 26, starting to work. You get it? Rather than when you get to 45 and take an insurance policy, you may pay twice the premium for a sum assured. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's a problem with our insurance penetration rate. In Kenya, we stand at around 3%.
Correct.
While we have South Africa leading at around 17%. So is it the change of mindset that we need, or what needs to be done?
It's the change of mindset. It's a change of, I know when I talk to people tell me that they are low incomes, we don't have money, you know, most people are not employed. But just the same way we have done with the hustle fund. Yeah? Will somebody complain that you don't have money? I don't have money to save 5%. You can't. You don't even know you are saving 5%. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. You get it?
Yeah.
So it is about culture. Is that we complain that we don't have money. Even South Africa, they don't have money. Who has money? Nobody.
Nobody has.
But whatever you have, you must purposefully decide that I'm going to put it aside by an insurance policy. For example, simple, you know, last expense. I told you before the interview. Last expense. We know all of us will die. All of us will die. Definitely. Point T. Yeah. At time T, all of us die.
Eventually.
And we know when we die. Yeah. When we die, there will be a cost for us. We know. But you tell somebody the policy, you can get 100,000 sum assured at the death for a simple premium of 1,500, and somebody says, and 1,500 per annum, not even per month. People say, but are you sure I'll get the money when I die?
Because you're not there at the end of the day.
Yes.
Don't trust
but
me.
you know, insurance are over and above the saving element. Insurance helps us to protect our investments.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you take a sum assured for life expense of 500,000 and you are paying maybe 12,000 Kenyan shillings per annum, and in the event of death, your family is not going to sell your cows to use to be able to bury you, because the insurance company is going to pay money and they use it to bury. Okay. So your savings, your investment that you have done for your family is not affected.
Okay.
You get it? That's what insurance does. Now, for younger people, it's important to take long-term insurances, life insurances, which is called what ordinary life insurances. Of course, if you've got a family, you start having children, you should be able to have educational policies. Educational policies help a lot more. You know, they may not give you all the money to pay your school fees, but they will go a long way to help in terms of meeting your school fees obligations at the time when children go to school.
And you've not mentioned SACCOs, so where do they lie?
Of course, SACCOs are an important aspect for savings. Yeah, SACCOs are a good savings platform, which is fantastic. But remember that SACCOs are a credit line. You know, people. Rarely will somebody just save 2 billion in a SACCO and go back and sit and say, okay, fine, I have 2 million shillings.
No, you want to save so that you can take out more.
So 99% of us have savings in SACCO, but those savings are covered by debts. So they're not savings at all.
Okay.
99%. We have savings in SACCOs, but those SACCOs are covered by what? Dates, because we have gone back to to take loans. Okay. So I never consider SACCOs as a saving platform. It is a credit platform. It's only helping yourself to raise a credit worthiness to be able to get a loan. You get it? Which is good. It helps us to be able to get money to be able to do things. Yeah. But over and above that, we need to save for emergencies. We need to save for school fees. We need to save for weddings. We need to save for all these things. Yeah. We need to save for them, so that we are able to have different pockets of savings to be able to provide for us even as we go by. Yes.
Would you say that that's where the Hustler Fund has taken it a notch higher, because now it's taking it to the pension scheme?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why. So the Hustler Fund, and maybe that's the government, maybe even SACCOs should do something like that and say whatever you save in a SACCO, percentage goes to what? To a pension plan. You get it? That also may help to increase our savings for pension plan. It's involuntary saving. You don't wake up in the morning and save. You are putting money in a SACCO, but what goes in a SACCO, percentage goes to what? To a pension plan. Okay. That can also help to increase our coverage and increase our saving platforms for this country. Yes, yes.
And how can young people take advantage of the new tech financial platforms and services?
And in fact, they are the luckiest people under the sun. You know, when we started working in 1990s, yeah, you know, you would go to sell. I used to sell insurance policies. You go to sell insurance policies, and hard copy. You go to Nairobi City Council. You are selling to people. They have to sign, you know, forms. They refuse to sign. They filled and they refuse to sign. Yeah, when you take to finance officer, he refuses to deduct because they have not been signed. Today, you are seated in your room, you are seated in your house, and you are able to log on a platform, and you are able to save. Yeah, which is a fantastic thing. So we need to get more people to save. You know, for example, if you go onto our platforms, you'll be able to get platforms to save in Otagon, Africa. You know, you are able to have advantages of savings. So young people have a bigger opportunity in terms of saving platforms. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And finally, just to summarize all that you have said, why is it important now for the youth to inculcate a saving culture?
Why it is important is because if they don't save, we will not have money to build our country. We will go to China to borrow to build a road, when we will have used our own money to do what? To build the roads.
Okay.
So if we get our young people, which is the biggest population, to get a culture of saving, then we will grow a war chest as a nation. Today we have 1.5 trillion Kenya shillings in pension funds, but mostly are occupational company pension schemes, which are very few. It's about 22% of the people working. You get it? Yeah. If we got 80% of the people who are working today, who are mostly young people, we will grow what we can use to be able to build our country.
Okay, amazing. That's a very good place to end it. Thank you very much for sharing this amazing insights today. That has been Fred Waswa, the Group CEO of Otagon Africa Group, regional financial service provider, talking to us about inculcating a saving culture among the youth. I hope you've taken a few pointers from that. Thank you for staying with us. This has been Good Morning Kenya. We meet tomorrow, same time at 6:30 a.m. We wish you, on behalf of the team, I wish you a great viewing ahead and a lovely day.